Ladies and gentlemen, it's often the small choices we make every day that ultimately shape the course of our lives. Some people picture success or failure as a single grand event, a moment that flips everything on its head. But life doesn't work that way. No, the real story of success and failure, of health and decline, of happiness and despair, is written one small decision at a time. And it's easy to miss the signs that tell us we're slowly steering ourselves off course. When we think about failure, we often imagine monumental mistakes, big decisions gone wrong, or massive missed opportunities. However, the truth is that it's rarely the big things that derail our lives. Instead, it's the small, seemingly inconsequential actions we repeat daily that often shape our futures in profound ways. Each minor choice, each small neglect, adds up over time, gradually guiding us down a path we may not even realize we're on until it's too late. These tiny moments might seem harmless on their own, skipping one workout, putting off a challenging task, or staying silent when we should speak up, but they set a tone for our lives. The real cost of these small neglects often goes unnoticed, like a quiet undercurrent, until we find ourselves far off course, wondering how we got there. Imagine a ship leaving port, aiming for a distant shore. Even the slightest degree off course at the beginning can, over miles of travel, lead that ship to an entirely different destination. Our lives are similar. Every time we choose the easier path or ignore a chance to grow, we shift our course, even if by just a fraction of a degree. This subtle shift, repeated time and again, can lead us to a place we never intended to go, simply because we allowed small neglects to take root in our lives. The price of these small neglects becomes painfully evident when we look at the power of habit. Good habits like reading, exercising, or spending time with positive influences steadily build us up over time. They may not provide immediate, visible results, but they lay the foundation for a stronger, more capable future. On the other hand, bad habits are consistent small neglects, even things like procrastination, ignoring our health or failing to invest in our relationships, are subtle erasers, slowly wearing away at what we're building. These habits don't have immediate consequences, so it's easy to ignore them. But over time, they accumulate, creating limitations and obstacles that keep us from realizing our true potential. Perhaps the most dangerous part of small neglects is their ability to erode our self-belief and self-discipline. Each time we break a promise to ourselves, no matter how small, we're sending a message that our goals aren't important enough to honor. We gradually lose confidence in our ability to follow through, to persevere, and to achieve. We may think these small choices won't matter in the long run, but they compound, affecting how we view ourselves and how much faith we have in our own abilities. It's crucial to recognize that small neglects don't just chip away at our goals, they impact our character, our relationships, and our sense of purpose. They weaken our resolve and dull our ambitions. So, as we go about our days, it's worth remembering that every choice, no matter how minor, has weight. Each decision, whether to act or avoid, builds the life we're creating. By bringing awareness to these small daily actions, we can ensure they align with the life we want and make sure we're on course toward the future we envision, one small, consistent step at a time. Habits are more than routines, they're the silent compass guiding our lives, whether we're aware of it or not. Each habit we adopt, good or bad, becomes a building block of our future. Like a compass, our habits provide direction, subtly influencing our choices, actions, and outcomes over time. The small, repetitive things we do every day create a path, setting us on course toward either growth or stagnation, success or frustration. They shape not only how we move through our days, but also who we become as individuals. Consider how easily habits form. One seemingly minor decision, repeated over time, becomes automatic. For instance, choosing to exercise regularly or start the day with gratitude might seem insignificant in the short term, but over weeks, months, and years, these practices build physical and mental resilience, boosting our energy, confidence, and outlook. Positive habits are like investments in our well-being, paying compound interest over time. However, habits work both ways. The same power that allows positive habits to elevate us can also lead negative habits to erode our potential. When we get into the habit of procrastinating, constantly checking our phones, or speaking negatively, these actions become ingrained, creating pathways of ease that keep us in cycles of stagnation and self-sabotage. Negative habits can be subtle, often so minor that they barely register as problematic at first, but repeated consistently, they become barriers, reinforcing limitations that we carry forward day by day. Our habits, then act as our compass, silently shaping the direction of our lives. If we don't actively choose our habits, they'll choose us, creating an automatic path that might not align with our deepest aspirations. To harness the power of habits, we need to choose them with intention, focusing on the ones that strengthen us, bring us closer to our goals, and build the future we envision. By choosing habits that act as positive compasses, we ensure that each small action we take aligns with the person we want to become, guiding us in the direction we truly want to go. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in our lives. When we have it, we feel unstoppable, like we're gliding forward with purpose and ease. Every action reinforces the next, creating a rhythm that keeps us in motion, making it easier to achieve our goals and handle obstacles along the way. But momentum is fragile. It's easy to lose, and once it's gone, getting it back takes serious effort. The problem is we don't always notice when we're letting it slip away, especially through small, seemingly harmless decisions that seem unimportant at the time. When we choose to delay action, even if it's something as simple as putting off a task or ignoring an opportunity, we're disrupting that forward motion. These small choices may seem insignificant. Maybe it's just a day off from a routine or a minor decision to push a goal to someday. But over time, these actions add up. The momentum we once had slows down, making it harder to re-engage and often leading to feelings of frustration, procrastination, or even doubt. Each delay chips away at our drive, sapping the energy and motivation we had at the beginning of our journey. The real danger of lost momentum lies in the fact that it's a slow process. We rarely notice the decline until we're deep in it. What was once a steady habit becomes an occasional effort, then a rare occurrence, and finally a forgotten goal. Getting back to the initial spark, the excitement and energy we once had, becomes harder with every delay. We find ourselves struggling to pick up where we left off, and the journey ahead suddenly feels daunting and overwhelming. It's essential to understand that momentum isn't just about energy, it's about consistency. It's the steady application of effort, no matter how small, that keeps us moving forward. Every action we take builds upon the last, reinforcing our commitment and creating a cumulative effect. When we honor our plans, follow through on commitments, and keep pushing forward even when motivation dips, we're preserving momentum. Momentum, after all, is what keeps us going when excitement fades. It's what allows us to tackle challenges, stay resilient, and keep working toward our goals even on the toughest days. Recognizing the importance of momentum and actively working to maintain it, no matter how small the steps, is key. Each day, each effort keeps us on track, building up a steady rhythm that pushes us towards success. By honoring momentum, we create a foundation for growth and resilience, ensuring that each small action moves us forward, propelling us toward the future we envision. At first glance, self-discipline might seem like a restriction, a set of rules we impose on ourselves that limits what we can do. But in truth, self-discipline is one of the greatest freedoms we can give ourselves. It's the commitment to do what's necessary, even when it's hard or inconvenient, and this commitment opens doors to growth, achievement, and self-respect. By choosing discipline over momentary comfort, we unlock the power to build a life on our own terms, free from regret and what-ifs. Self-discipline enables us to make choices today that bring us closer to the life we want tomorrow. Every time we follow through on a commitment, even when it's tough, we're telling ourselves that our goals and values matter. Each act of discipline is a building block, laying the foundation of confidence and belief in our own abilities. As we continually act with self-discipline, we strengthen our resolve and gradually eliminate the doubts that might hold us back. It's a personal freedom, the freedom from excuses, from giving in to fleeting emotions, and from being at the mercy of our moods. The beauty of self-discipline is that it doesn't just help us reach our goals, it shapes our character. Every time we push ourselves to keep going, even when the motivation has faded, we're developing resilience, patience, and determination. These qualities then extend to other areas of our lives. When we choose to be disciplined in our work, for example, that same energy can carry over to our health, relationships, or personal growth. Over time, we build a strong sense of identity, knowing we can count on ourselves to take action and stick to our values. Without self-discipline, we become prisoners of impulse and distraction, easily swayed by whatever feels good in the moment. We might give in to comfort, procrastinate, or let our emotions dictate our actions, ultimately losing control over our direction in life. But with self-discipline, we become the captains of our own lives. Instead of being pushed and pulled by temporary emotions or circumstances, we're guided by a steady commitment to our vision and values. So rather than seeing discipline as a restriction, see it as the freedom to pursue what truly matters. It's the power to create a life of purpose, progress, and fulfillment. By making disciplined choices daily, we ensure that our actions align with the life we aspire to lead, granting us the freedom to build a future that reflects our highest potential. The people around us have a profound impact on our thoughts, beliefs, and actions, often in ways we don't consciously notice. We are social beings, and the influence of our friends, family, and colleagues can either inspire us to reach new heights or hold us back from growth. Who we spend our time with matters deeply because over time, their habits, attitudes, and values subtly become a part of us. If the people in our circle are encouraging, driven, and positive, we're more likely to adopt those qualities ourselves. But if they're negative, constantly complaining, or stagnant, their outlook can weigh us down, becoming a barrier to our progress. Consider the powerful effect that even one motivated person can have. Being around individuals who believe in personal growth, who push themselves to be better, can ignite something within us. Their energy, enthusiasm, and resilience become a source of motivation that drives us forward. We start to feel inspired, motivated to take action, and more capable of achieving our goals. Positive influences can challenge us to question our limitations and encourage us to step outside our comfort zones. They remind us that progress and success are possible, often reigniting our drive just by their example. On the other hand, spending time with people who constantly doubt, complain, or criticize can have the opposite effect. Their negativity can seep into our thoughts, leading us to question our abilities or feel discouraged. Even if we have high ambitions, the attitudes of those around us can start to wear us down, creating self-doubt or complacency. We may find ourselves mirroring their outlook, becoming more comfortable with excuses or settling for less than we know we're capable of. If the people we surround ourselves with don't share our vision or encourage our growth, they can subtly influence us to stay where we are rather than pursue our potential. It's essential, then, to consciously choose our company. We should seek out people who bring out the best in us, who challenge us to improve, and who support our aspirations. This doesn't mean we have to cut off everyone who doesn't fit that mold. Rather, it means prioritizing time with those who help us become the person we want to be. Building a circle of positive, driven, and uplifting individuals creates an environment where we feel supported, inspired, and ready to take on challenges. When we surround ourselves with people who reflect our values and encourage our growth, we set ourselves up for a life filled with purpose, resilience, and fulfillment. In the end, the company we keep shapes our mindset, our decisions, and ultimately our future. Choose wisely and let those around you be a source of strength and inspiration on your journey. Awareness is the first and most crucial step toward meaningful change. Often we go through life on autopilot, carrying out routines and habits without questioning their impact on our future. This lack of awareness can lead us to repeat patterns that may not serve our goals or growth. It's easy to overlook the small choices we make, the compromises we accept, or the habits we've unconsciously adopted, but the reality is, if we're unaware of these influences, we can't change them. To steer our lives in the direction we want, we need to see our actions for what they are, the building blocks of our future. Awareness is about taking a moment to pause and reflect, to look honestly at the actions we're taking and assess if they're aligned with who we want to become. It's a conscious examination of our thoughts, habits, and surroundings. When we start to observe ourselves with clarity, we can identify patterns that either support or sabotage our goals. For example, we might notice that every time we feel stressed, we avoid taking action, or that we let self-doubt prevent us from seizing opportunities. These realizations may seem small, but they're powerful. By becoming aware of these habits, we put ourselves in a position to make intentional choices instead of merely reacting to life. Awareness also gives us insight into the underlying beliefs and attitudes that shape our behavior. Sometimes the root of our actions is hidden in fears or limiting beliefs we didn't even know we held. We might think that we're simply too busy to pursue a goal, but deeper reflection might reveal that we're afraid of failure, and busyness is our way of avoiding that fear. By shining a light on these thoughts, we can begin to shift our perspective and release the limitations we've unconsciously imposed on ourselves. Ultimately, awareness is empowering because it allows us to regain control of our lives. It's not about perfection or criticizing ourselves for past mistakes. It's about recognizing where we are right now and understanding how our choices contribute to our outcomes. When we're aware, we can start to redirect our actions toward growth, meaning, and fulfillment. We can choose to nurture habits that serve our highest potential and let go of those that don't. Building this awareness takes practice. It requires honesty, patience, and a willingness to look within. But with each step toward greater awareness, we unlock the power to create a life of purpose and alignment, ensuring that every action we take is a conscious step forward. Awareness is the key that allows us to break free from unhelpful patterns and live intentionally, shaping a future that reflects our deepest aspirations.